Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. Ramsey Personality is my co-host today as we take your questions about your life and your money. Open phones, 888-825-5225. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you're with us. Zach is with us in Seattle to start off this hour. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. You guys are some of my heroes, and it's real cool to be on the show. I had a question for you guys. So I currently work at a tech company, and I'm looking to make a career change. The problem is I make really good money where I'm at right now, and what I'm wanting to go into is a significant pay cut. So I make about $110,000 per year right now, with potential to move up. I just started the company, so there's a lot of growth there. But I'm not a fan of what I do. I took Ken Coleman's career assessment, gave me some great ideas. And what I'm wanting to go into is firefighting, which starting salary is about $30,000 less a year. And we're currently in baby step 2. And we've got, with snowballing things, it'll probably take a year or less to get everything paid off, from kind of the snowball calculator we did on your guys' website. So my question is, should I wait to do any sort of career change until I've got baby step 2 taken care of, 3 to 6 months in savings fund, and then a down payment for a house while I have the higher paying career? Or do I take the risk and go to a lower paying job and kind of take longer to get, our finances all set up and a down payment for a house? Because that's ultimately where we'd like to go. Does that make sense?
So you want to abandon a perfectly safe computer and run into burning houses?
Yeah, I want to do something that's meaningful. I work from home, and I'm just like poking my eyes out, and I'm like, I want to do something that's meaningful to me, and that sounds a heck of a lot more meaningful.
Have you gone on a ride along yet, or do you have buddies who are firefighters?
Yeah, so I got a buddy that's a firefighter. I've been doing a lot of research into the career itself, kind of what the day-to-day looks like, and all of it kind of fires me up. The people I've talked to have loved it. Everyone that's kind of in public service. I got an uncle that's a cop, and he's like, I wish I'd been a firefighter. So a lot of positive things about it from the kind of the research I've been doing so far.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I would do the ride-alongs too, by the way. But
yeah.
What does the on-ramp look like? How much training? How much downtime? You walk out of 110 and you walk into 80? Is that what we said, or 70? What was it?
Yeah, you walk into, they have it all scaled out, so it's 82.
Okay, so you're going to walk out of 110, walk into 82 day one or after training?
Yep.
Or
day one, for my
so they're going to pay you that while they train you?
Yeah.
Because you have to go to fire school. Is that what they call it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about 16 weeks. It's from what I believe, it's 82. It might be a little less than that, but it's within that ballpark regardless, where it's about a $30,000 pay cut.
Yeah. And are you married?
Yeah, married, 3 kids, all under the age of 4.
What's she make? She a stay-at-home mom?
She stay at home. Yeah, she stay at home.
Good.
The plan just keeps it that way. So.
Okay. Can you make your budget on that?
Yes, it'll just take longer to do the things we want.
Well, after 16 weeks, you have what firefighters call an extra job. Because you generally work 3 on, and you build decks or paint houses on the other 4.
Right.
Most firefighters I know make as much on their side gig as they do fighting fires because they got this wonderful schedule blocks set aside.
Yeah.
I know one guy made $100,000 building decks last year.
And I had a buddy who was got certified while he was in fire academy for
academy. That's it, not school.
Welding or some kind of engineer. I don't know. He got some kind of incredible certifications where he's making $1 jillion on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to work 3 beyond off 4. You're going to work 3 and you're going to work 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the other.
So your income's not going down.
My own side hustle. Yeah, that's true.
So you need to also engineer your side hustle.
Yeah.
And it's a great, it can be a great, it just needs to be a great self-employed opportunity because you can control the schedule and you can work around. And if you're going to paint houses, you just let them know I'm not going to be there those 3 days. That's my fire gig. And, again, I think you'll find around the firehouse, that's a pretty standard operation.
So let me throw this at you. I always want folks who have multiple kids like you do under the age of 3, 4, or 5 to exhale for a minute. Because everything in your life feels chaotic. You feel like you have no purpose because you're funding the lives of 3 kids who are too young to even recognize you exist, other than you make them get in the bath, and they don't want to do that, and change their underwear semi-regularly, and they don't want to do that either. And there's something about you start searching for a place where you can find meaning that's not at your home. And so Dave, I would tell you, if you were just my buddy and we were just hanging out, I would tell you, do a year sprint and get out of debt. At least take that brick out of your backpack. At least take that anxiety producing thing in your life, take it off the table. And in the meantime, do some ride-alongs. Get to reading about firefighting is one thing. Holding somebody in their front yard while their house burns down, or pulling somebody out of a building and trying to get them onto an EMS truck is a totally different thing. Some people are wired for that. Some people are not. And so you're in a unique position where you could experience that and not have to, before you've completely jumped off the dock. Yeah. But that'd be my recommendation to you.
Not a bad idea.
Go serve, man. I love that idea. We need more firefighters and police officers out there.
Yeah. Thank you for your willingness.
Yeah.
I think your side gig might be your technology thing rather than building decks or painting houses. I might have been wrong on that first wave.
That could be incredible.
Yeah, because, apparently you can work from home and not work much.
See?
And get a job doing that and stuff. So, that's...
Or some of the data says people are working from home and they won't stop.
Yeah, like 73 jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I have 4 jobs, 4 full-time jobs working from home.
See?
So by definition, you aren't doing any of them full-time. But anyway, okay, by definition. So anyway, but yeah, so you could probably do a lot of, I don't know what you're doing. If you're writing code, though, there's a lot of freelance stuff you could do, a lot of contract stuff you could do, and with honor, with ethics, and say, I don't do it except on these 4 days. If you're doing the 3 on 4 off gig.
Or you could get into one of those scams they call consulting. That would be awesome.
You could buy and sell Bitcoin. Exactly. Oh, wait, that's gone. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
That'd be great.
That's gone too, yeah. Oh, well. Oh, there we go. That's how we start the day. Merry Christmas, America. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Merry Christmas, America. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Anthony's with us in Panama City, Florida. Hi, Anthony. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you and John.
Sure. How can we help?
I've got a question. Just wanted to get some opinion, have some men speak some knowledge into this. My wife and I want to own a campground someday. We've come to this, we call it our vocation, that we want to own one, and we don't know what that's going to look like as far as something that we would fund fully with cash to acquire a campground, like an RV park campground, or if you get a loan, take on debt to do so.
So this is like a dream in the future?
Yes.
Okay, cool. How old are you guys?
I had to think about that for a second. I'm 30. My wife's 28.
Okay, cool.
When you turn 30, you hear, the memory
you
loss.
start losing your hearing. Yeah.
And memory loss.
in your memory.
Right away.
And your speech patterns.
Exactly.
So...
Why camping, man? What is it about camping?
Well, we both love it. It's funny. I'm like kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd like to do everything, and we've been spending a lot of time at night, talking about what we want to do with our future, and we've settled on this idea that this is something that could really get the gears turning for us and keep us busy, and we work really well together, and we'd like to do it together, and we plan to live there too. So we see ourselves living on a campground, or at least in close proximity, absorbing and taking on the lifestyle of being campground owners.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the first time you run a business of any kind, you start finding out that you didn't know what you didn't know. There's all these little surprises that go, woohoo! You went, I had no idea. And they're like, yep, you had no idea. That's why we got you. And you're going to discover that regardless of what kind of business you own, the first time you own a business and run a business. And it's more than just keeping the toilets cleaned in this case, or the electrical hookups working, or whatever jack of all trades things. You got all this other stuff called accounting and marketing and collections and payment systems and a website, because that's how everyone does everything now, right? Oh, maybe even an app, right? And so, that's got a lot. That's a long way from running wiring to the picnic shed, okay? And so, there's a lot of different skills you're going to have running a business that you need to develop over time. And you don't want to discover those with big, hairy payments coming at your face every month. I would rather you discover those more gently than that. So let's say that since this is just a dream at this point, let's just adapt what some middle steps are. You're wanting to go from 0 to 100 in one leap. And how can we do this in the middle? And I'll give you an example. I don't borrow money, and I'm not going to tell you to borrow money. So we're going to work our way through there, because I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm a dream killer either. I want you to live a dream, but I don't want your dream to be a nightmare. So I love, in your case, you love campgrounds. I love real estate, and a building that we moved into, 55,000 square feet, was a $5 million building, and that was 20 years ago, I think, something like that. Let's just call it 20 years ago. And we didn't have $5 million, but I really, really wanted to own this building, kind of like you want to own a campground. You following me?
Yes.
Okay. So what did I do? I leased it with an option to purchase it for 5 years. I didn't have $500,000, much less $5 million. But I started collecting all the nickels out of the corner of the couch for the next 5 years and barely scraped together the money at the last minute and exercised the option after 5 years. Thank God I did, because by then the building was worth $13 million and I bought it for $5 million. So what's known as a freaking deal, right? But I did not borrow money, and I was telling God all along while I was looking for the nickels in the corner of the couch, if you don't send the money, I'm not buying this, because I'm not going to borrow money, period. And me and God had a lot of conversations about that. So I kind of had to lay my guidelines out. But during that time, I learned a lot about that building. We learned that the former owner had not taken care of the roof, and the former owner had not taken care of the heat and air. And we learned that the heat and air was from another century. And we had to go in and rework a bunch of that, and boiler, baling wire and duct tape. How does this run parallel to what you're saying? Maybe a way to do something similar might be go to work for a campground. Be the general manager. And maybe they provide housing and you stay there and you run the whole thing for an absentee owner. And that includes you doing the repairs and you learning how to do the accounting and you learning from the owner how he did marketing for the past 20 years because he was doing this stuff when you were knee-high to nothing. And let's get in there and just get it all over you a little bit. And you might discover you freaking hate it, but you might discover it's even better than you thought. And this is like awesome. And then you might be able to option it and buy it from him with the profits instead of with debt.
Okay.
I'm making up a dream scenario, but I'd rather make up one of those than you go get an SBA loan and call me up 4 months later and go, I'm broke. Oh, by the way, COVID hit and they don't allow camping anymore.
Yeah.
Because that never happens.
I like the slower move into it, like you guys say when I watch show. You don't want to jump or leap into it because we're both gainfully employed now, and we're just thinking of the options. How do we keep?
But I mean, let's just say, what do you make a year?
Combined, we're about 160.
No. What do you make
before taxes? 82,000.
Okay. Well, let's say he paid you 60 to run the campground. You took a pay cut, but you got an option to buy the thing from him anytime in the next 7 years as a part of operating it for him. I'm modeling after my little building deal, and you can make it up. You can make up a different narrative, a different story, but the point is walk into it, don't leap into it, and lay your structure out to do that.
Yeah, the word that keeps coming to mind is let's practice. Before we go to the major leagues, let's practice. Let's at least take some batting practice before we decide this is what we're going to do forever. I love that idea. And even if you can't get a job at a campground in your local area, get a job at working the evening shift at a local hotel, hospitality industry. Because the campground industry,
it's tough.
It's a lot of people, man. That's a tough gig.
Well, and these are, if something's broken, it's broken like right then.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m.
That's right.
It's broken right
And if you live on, the reason they let you live on site
is because they're going to come knock on your door.
They want you to come get it.
You are the emergency toilet guy. That's your job, man. And I mean, welcome to doing it. That's it's okay. It's part of the gig. And there's no downside of that except that that's who it is. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Kaylin's with us. Kaylin is in Atlanta. Hi, Kaylin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. Merry Christmas. How can we help?
So I am wondering, I have about $17,000 saved up personally, and I was wondering if I should. $9,000 is my my 6-month emergency fund, and I would like to buy a car because I need something a little more professional for my business. And I was wondering how much of that remaining would $8,000 I should use to buy a car, or should I put off buying that car and start a Roth IRA because I've been putting that off as well.
What's your income?
My income is $33,600.
So what is your profession that you need to look more professional for?
So I own a landscaping company, and the truck that I've been driving that looks professional will be going to my new crew. And so I need a vehicle while they're using that truck to work to go run estimates and errands and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Well, I've had a professional landscaper doing my office work and my personal lawn for 21 years. I do not know what he drives.
Okay.
Nor do I care.
Okay.
All I really care about does a dadgum lawnmower work.
Exactly.
Kaylin, do you know what I drive?
What do you drive?
It's an embarrassment to me and my family.
It's an embarrassment to all of us.
But you don't know. That's the point, right? That's the point.
Right.
You now know it's an embarrassment.
It's not great. It's not great.
So, no, I would not look professional. I would buy something that's reliable and that gets the job done. That's what you always want to do in business. There's very few things in business that you buy to impress people that work. Most of the things that you buy in business should just give you a return on investment, meaning they should get the job done for the cheapest possible dollar. So get you a nice little truck that's dependable, that'll do the estimates, and that's all you need. And if you ever lose a customer due to the truck you drive, you call me and I will pay what he would have paid you to cut the grass. It will never happen, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. With Christmas only a couple days away, we're fully in the season of giving. And that means we've got a way we can give, that you can give like no one else. You can give high school students across the country the gift of hope. That same hope you found maybe when you went through Financial Peace University, or you found listening to this show. Our Foundations in Personal Finance high school curriculum teaches students the same life-changing principles you learned. So when they get out of high school, they got common sense, they can avoid debt, they can avoid worry, avoid the stress. Here's the problem. A lot of schools don't have the funding for these critical resources, and that's where you can help. Some of you are sitting there where you're able to give, and through our curriculum sponsorship program, you can team up with us to get this curriculum in the hands of teachers and ultimately change students' lives. You found freedom because you chose to take the principles we teach and apply them in your life. Now you can help students to do the same thing. Freedom. Foundations in personal finance for high school. If you want to help us, go to RamseySolutions.com/sponsor, RamseySolutions.com/sponsor. Ethan is with us in Traverse City, Michigan. Hi, Ethan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, John. It's good to be able to talk to you guys.
You too. Yeah, so you're in the same town with our friend Meg Meeker. Good to have you. Merry Christmas. How can we help?
Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys. So my wife and I were just recently married 5 months ago.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. I appreciate it. So since getting married, I adopted a bit of debt, which is something that I'm not too familiar with.
You adopted it?
Well, most of it is not mine.
It came with the package.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I was slow on the uptake on that one, dude. My bad.
Sorry.
So she had a bunch of debt. That's now y'all's debt.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, listen, on behalf of wives everywhere, thank you for your gentle language that you adopted it as though it was like a sweet puppy.
Yeah, it was her cat.
That was very loving of you, man.
Her ugly cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's ours now. It is ours.
So how much debt did you adopt?
So, a little under 100,000.
So you adopted like a hippopotamus. Like not a puppy.
This is not a puppy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a large puppy.
Yeah. All right. $100,000. And what's your household income?
Yeah, my household income is it's about 58.
Okay. And you two are on the same page about attacking all of this, I assume?
Yes, sir, we are. Good.
How can we help?
So, I guess my question is just debt is something that I'm not too familiar with. So,
we got that. That's your nice way of saying stressing your butt out. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess just advice on how to tackle this debt as promptly as possible while still being able to enjoy being newly married and kind of establishing our house and our bringing in furniture into our apartment, and also a dream of ours is to one day start a business together. So how to just, I guess, navigate all that. Maybe that's too
do you
far
want the
ahead of
truthful
time,
answer, or do you want the Pinterest answer?
Truth or answer. I'm not huge on Pinterest, so.
I'm not into. I didn't know Pinterest was lies, but that's pretty. Yeah, it's just butterflies.
Well,
and
it's just pretty
flowers.
pictures, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Truthful answer, please.
I think my wife and I were married 10 years because of the hole I dug. When we both were participated, but mostly me, to the tune of 6 figures and a whole bunch of degrees, before I finally was able to buy a headboard on Craigslist that I spray painted in my backyard. Here's what I'm telling you. Long term in your marriage, the smartest thing to do right now is to pay your debts off. Borrow furniture, get crummy furniture, get to the next stage, man. But you have this picture of what you thought your first year of marriage was going to be like, and you'll have 6 figures in debt. And you can have all the pretty furniture in the world and all the nice cars in the world and all the new businesses, and that debt will bury your marriage. And I know that because I've done it. I lived it. And I kept punting it and moving it around and trying to do this and putting things off instead of just sucking it up and getting that stupid stuff paid off.
Here's what's weird. When you guys decide together and you take her 2 hands and your 2 hands, you look into her eyes, and you decide to spend the next 24 months on a garage sale couch that cost $13 and is pinkish blue, but we're not sure what color really. When you decide to do that, you're going to laugh about those days later, and you're certainly going to be, but it's actually going to, the weird thing is, it's actually going to increase the quality of your relationship and your marriage more than the new couch will.
By 100 miles.
Because we're working together for a common goal, and we're sacrificing together for a common goal. And when you guys do that, when you pay a price for something you both believe in early in your marriage together, it knits you together more beautifully than than everything looking perfect, than a $100,000 wedding, a $200,000 car, and a $300,000 new business. And, so a crummy wedding day when it rains and the mushroom caps float in the little thing, and because you did it outside and you didn't think it was going to rain, and that knits you together. It sounds weird. Like, I don't want to sign you up for suffering, but you've already adopted it. So there you go.
Yeah, you signed you up for suffering.
Yeah, so let's get after it. So working extra jobs, living on a budget, the both of you being in agreement, not you dragging her along because you have anxiety about debt, but her being in agreement that, hey, this is a mess. We're both going to work on this. We're both going to lock arms. We're going to put equal emotional effort into it. And we're going to sacrifice to win for a short period of time. We're going to live like no one else so that later we can live and give like no one else. Your business opening is going to be down the line after you're out of debt, have an emergency fund saved, and then save up some money to start your business. Right now, you're just going to work your butts off, both of you. And both of you aren't working enough. You got to work more.
Here's another cool thing. You'll buy a different couch in 30 months than you would right now. Because you know how much $1 is worth and how much $1,000 is worth, and you're not going to buy a $5,000 couch.
Yeah. And so I start doing math if I'm you. Okay, $33,000 a year, it means I'm out of debt in 3 years. $50,000 a year means I'm out of debt in 2 years. And how am I going to do that making 58? I got to make more money. I got to have more money coming in. And I can't spend money on anything because I don't have any money. We're not going out to eat. We're not going on vacation. You're not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're freaking working there. But guess what? You're the second generation that thought you had to eat out every night your first year of marriage. Every other generation, the bride had the pleasure of burning meals for a year trying to figure it out. And then you can laugh about that too. And my wife is actually a good Southern cook, but she still screwed up a lot of stuff the first year. And you know how much I screwed up? None, because I didn't do nothing. So there you go. I screwed that up, too. So there you go. But so I just got the pleasure of her being mad when I was making fun of her. But anyway, it's all good. So, but no, I mean, this is how life works, y'all. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay for everything to not look like Instagram, because that's someone else's highlight reel. Their kids still pooped in the floor 3 minutes before they did those little white suits and put them all together. 3 minutes before.
In the floor?
What are you thinking? You know they did.
I know they did.
Those kids that wear those white suits, you know they did that.
There's cha-cha everywhere in that house. Everywhere.
So, yeah, don't follow other people's highlight reels. Sacrifice to win.
Pay it off now. Pay it off now.
Two of you have a shared vision, very detailed, very laid out, where both of you are in agreement on it, and then get your butt in attack mode. That'll be the best thing ever happened to a young marriage, is to learn to accomplish goals together through sacrifice, through goal setting, through hard work. You can do that. You can do anything, my friend. Anything. Nothing will stop you. This is The Ramsey Show. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you're with us. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. I said Dr. John Deloney Show is what I said, but that's okay. It's all here in one person.
That's right.
All right, let's just move on. Leah is with us in New York City. Hi, Leah. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, I'm calling because I have a debt problem. I have over $1 million in debt. That includes a home, college loans, and credit card debt.
Okay.
And
how much is your home? How much is the debt on your home?
It's about $500,000.
And what is the house worth?
It's worth about $700,000 now.
Okay. All right. And so you have $500,000 in other debt. I'm guessing a larger portion of that is student loans.
Yeah, student loans. And
how much?
About $300,000.
You have $200,000 in credit card debt?
No, student loans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought
you said you had $1 million. You got $500,000 on the house, $300,000 in student loans. That leaves $200,000 in credit card debt.
No, actually, it's maybe less than. It's about $30,000 in credit card debt.
$30,000?
Yeah.
So
wait a minute.
$470,000 in student loans?
I have about $300,000.
So you don't have $1 million in debt?
No, I don't. I thought it was $1 million, but maybe I just.
Okay, so $500,000 on the mortgage, $300,000 on the student loans, and $30,000 on the credit cards, and that's all your debt.
Well, yeah, that's about. And I have a
your
auto loan. I forgot about that.
So what is your?
You have another loan. What's the other loan?
It's a car loan.
How much do you owe on your car?
It's about $24,000.
Okay, and so are you a doctor or a lawyer?
Neither. I just work in healthcare.
$300,000 to do what?
What's your degree in?
It's more like a management type degree, like a certificate that I just got to end up getting a really good job with.
So what's your income?
It's about $120,000 a year.
Are you married?
I'm married, but I'm mostly responsible for my own bills.
Not anymore. What is his income?
I don't know. It's not a, I don't know.
How long have you been married?
About 12 years.
Okay. If you were going to guess, does he make 60 or does he make 600?
I'd say he's in the what is it about the he makes maybe about 100,000. I would say.
Okay.
I don't know the exact amount.
I got you. Okay. All right. And I assume he's on the mortgage as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's important. All right.
But he won't have a conversation with you about money?
No, I've read your books. I've tried, but he's not interested.
What reason does he tell you he doesn't want to talk about money?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He just doesn't.
He just smiles and says, nope. And then he says,
No.
pass the nachos?
No, yep. He just, no.
It's very, very rare that somebody has that sort of disdain for the human being they share a life with that doesn't also come with other abuse or other sorts of deception or affairs or things like that.
Okay, well, you know what you're talking about.
Okay. Are you safe now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if she was agreeing with your statement. Okay, I'm so lost right now. All right. Okay, let me go back a second. I'm gonna pan back, way back, Leah. How long you been listening to this? You said you got all our books and stuff. What's that mean?
Yes, I've been listening to you, I say, for maybe 2 years now when I first heard about you, like right around COVID.
So the wonderful thing that we discovered 25 years ago or so is that personal finance is more personal than it is finance. It's 80% behavior, it's 20% head knowledge. Your math that you're describing to me is very stressful for you, terrifying for you, and it is the result of the series of decisions that you brought into your life, including this dysfunctional marriage. And so the math is not going to get better until you get better. And so the way out of this is a different level of wholeness than I've heard in this conversation. And I'm not putting you down. I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying that you and your husband working together, making $220,000 a year, living in a house that you owe $500,000 on, trying to pay off your debts, and having a wonderful, flourishing marriage where there's great communication and shared goals and shared dreams is the only way I know how to teach you to get out of this debt, because this is such a personal situation. And the more you have to fight against dysfunction while you're trying to clean up this mess, the harder it's going to be. Does that sound unloving when I say that?
No, I've heard it before.
Okay.
Do you believe you've with your student loan, with your car, with the other loan, that you are unable to leave?
Yes, a little bit, and I'm just I know
you're being very, very measured and careful in what you're saying, and I get that, and I want to honor that. I also,
and I'm because student loans are in deferment, I haven't really touched that for a while, and it's
yeah. So $350,000 solves your problem. If you do that $35,000, it takes 10 years. If you do it at $70,000 a year, it takes 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And if you do it at $150,000 a year, it's done in 2.5 years, which is what your combined finances would allow you to do if both of you had a shared goal and a flourishing relationship. Or you by yourself, without this mortgage on your back, have to say, I make 120, I've got to clean up 330. How fast can I do that? And it's not, and by yourself, I mean, that is like by yourself now. You're not with him anymore, kind of by yourself. So I want good things for you. We love you. We want you to win. I want 10 years from now you to have a good life. And it doesn't sound like much fun right now from where I'm observing. And so if I'm you, I'm going to start taking some steps to force the fun to come.
Yeah, and I want to recognize that what I'm about to say it's a much different. Me saying it on this side of the railroad tracks versus the side that you're on. But your safety and your wholeness within a marriage and your ability to communicate and your ability to be able to fully go to sleep in a home that you feel safe in doesn't have a dollar amount on it. And whether you need to call somebody and let them know that you need some help, or you need to reach out to an organization in your community, or reach out to some friends or to family members, whatever that may be, it sounds like you were there. And again, I want to honor the fact that you don't want to go into too much detail and you want to kind of let us know what's going on without really letting us know what's going on. But it sounds like you are not safe. And it sounds like you owe a lot of money. And if you were to leave today, you don't believe that you have enough money to pay your bills. And I don't want that fear, which is very real, to stop you from making a phone call and let somebody know that I'm not okay. Because like Dave said, I want in 10 years, man, I want to meet you in person. I want you to be smiling from ear to ear. Because you chose today as the day that I'm worth more than that.
That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you're with us. Beverly is with us in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Beverly. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. How are you doing, Doctor? How are you doing?
We are better than we deserve. How can we help?
I'm trying to get there, too. Okay, this is my situation. My husband, he died in 2021, May 2021. Okay, of course, without a will. I was not living with him. We've been, separated, but not legally, for about 2 decades. We have children, and which are grown, of course. And, I'm trying to do this probate thing. My problem is that I have to hire a probate attorney because what he did own a house. Okay, it has a tax value of $170, which I think is still on a house because he didn't take care of it. And the problem I'm having with probate is because he didn't file taxes with me within the last 2 years, 1 or 2 years. I have difficulty proving that we never got a divorce because in Philadelphia, the rules state that that you have to do the taxes, if you because they cannot tell there's no divorce record. Do you understand where I'm going with it? They can't prove that you were married at the time. So I'm having to go to this court thing.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, that sounds backwards.
Wait. He lived in Philadelphia?
And I live in Atlanta.
Okay. And you've been separated for 10 years. That's weird.
Well, more than 10, really.
That's whacked. Okay, so why do you think you get the house? Because you basically were divorced.
Well, we're divorced or legally
I understand, but why do you think you get the house morally? You've been gone, girl. Why?
Really? I mean, what's the law with that? I mean...
I wasn't asking about the law. I was asking about what's right. You weren't married for the last 10 years. Plus
20 years, yeah.
20 years in a very real way. I mean, technically you are because you guys are weird. But
you said you've been doing your taxes together up until 2 years ago?
We have not been doing our taxes together, but I have been receiving. See, we're both veterans, right? I'm a disabled veteran. I have been receiving veteran and Social Security pension through him and me because I served also. But I've received, through him. All these years until the day he died.
Yeah. And I guess whatever widows because you're still technically married, you get that, and the Veterans Administration probably isn't looking into it. But when you went to probate court, the people in Philadelphia went, you kind of like need to show us you're not divorced. And 2 years of tax returns would do that. Obviously, the law in Pennsylvania is not that if people don't file married filing jointly for 2 whole years that they are automatically divorced under Pennsylvania law. That is not the case. So something else is going on here when you went into probate court.
I know.
Like somebody's fighting you, like one of the kids says you shouldn't get this house.
No, the kids are, backing me up, which I could do, okay, have one of the children go up there, but we did take a trip up there, but this paperwork was wrong, and I'm just, tired of, spending my money
What's the house worth, actually, if you were to put it on the market with a real estate agent?
That's another thing, too. The tax value of the house is $170, right? But it's in poor shape.
What would the house sell for if you put it on with a real estate agent?
Well, a real estate agent, I might get $170 for it, but the tax value of it.
Okay, so if you could sell it for $170, because you're not moving to Philadelphia, that's what you're going to do with it. Then what's owed against it?
Oh, it's about $17,000 in back taxes.
That's all.
Which I am paying. Yeah, which I am paying. He had a payment plan.
He had no mortgage.
No, he had no mortgage. No.
Okay. What do you make?
What do I make? I make through my VA Social Security. I get $4,800.
And how old are you?
Oh, I am 63.
Okay. Here's what I would do. I'm the same age as you. Okay, I'm getting ready to be. I'm 62. If I woke up in your shoes, which I can't imagine, but if I did, because I got to tell you, if I lived sharing for 20 years, one of us would be dead. But yeah. But anyway, but if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do? I would hire to get a $170,000 asset as the wife of a dead guy. The legal wife of a dead guy. No divorce occurred, and there's no one arguing about this. No one's anything. We just need to get the house deeded to you so you can sell it. You need a judge's order from probate court to be able to sell the house. I would just hire a probate attorney.
That's what I did. I mentioned that.
And they said you just can't do it. It's impossible.
No, he didn't say he didn't do it. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this because I love the way, if somebody's doing something stupidly, I love the way you tell them, hey, you're being a fool.
Okay, so no, you're not being a fool. If you hired an attorney to work you through this very complicated and unusual situation, you're not being a fool at all in that regard. No. And because you need to get a judge's order in probate court to be able to give to the title company so they can issue a title, because the guy that's on the title is not here to sign it. And so you have a ruling from the judge that allows the title company to write title insurance, and the judge is going to say, oh, okay, this lady's they were separated forever, but they never got a divorce, and there's no Pennsylvania law that makes you instantly divorced, and so we're going to issue a ruling that says this house is to be sold, and Miss Beverly from Atlanta can sign the deed.
And I heard you mention that you had to protect your children. If they give you grief over it, you can tell them, no, he left, or I left to keep us safe, and we just never got around to the divorce. You are going to have to explain that at some point, why you didn't ever file on him.
Protect them from what?
Whether she just mentioned that, whether he was abusive or he wasn't safe to be around.
Is that why she said she left? I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. She said she had to protect her children, which I understand.
Well, that's a different issue.
But I also understand the divorce process is messy. If somebody wants to drag it out, I get all that. But 20 years is a long time, a long, long, long time.
Now, closure's worth
your time and your money. Yes.
Yeah. Paint or get off the ladder. Yeah. That's the plan. So yeah. It's like, was that the guy on your Instagram I saw? He said, I'm worried about dealing with my daughter's dating and where I hide the bodies. And he went, no, on second thought, I'm not.
No.
Not worried about where he's going to hide the bodies. Not worried about the daughter. It's like the double entendre. It's fabulous. Yeah. And on second thought, I'm not worried about where I'm going to bury the bodies.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it's just like that's what would happen if I was gone for 20 years and didn't get a divorce. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Hey, Ramsey fans, we got something new going on over here. Check out our new Ramsey apparel. Oh, my goodness, it's happened. Custom designed to remind you why normal sucks and why you choose to be weird. So T-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of fun stuff, sweatshirts, the whole thing. Cash is king, better than I deserve, live like no one else. You got one on.
I do. I look like a smoke show. Not even going to lie. I look pretty good. I can feel my own body heat right now. I don't know why I said that. Sorry.
If I'm just real quiet, what will happen now?
The room. Listen, you get one of these Ramsey sweatshirts.
I will lose weight. It's got Spanx built in.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I haven't taken a full breath since the show started. I didn't know why
you looked like. I was trying to catch. I'm just slow. Okay. Yeah, it's there. John, you're
great,
you're amazingly handsome with that trusty, dusty Ramsey sweatshirt on.
Thank you for saying I was handsome.
Oh, my goodness. Go to RamseySolutions.com and get free shipping on orders over $40 because you're going to want a lot of these. RamseySolutions.com. Wow. That just happened. All right. Jason is with us. Jason is in Chicago. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. What's up?
I'm actually in the sticks, about 90 miles from Chicago. My wife and I just remarried. We were recently divorced, and we're 48 and 40, about 110,000 income.
You remarried each other?
No. We're previously divorced. And
okay. You have remarried after the divorce. I got you. Okay. You said my wife and I. Yeah. I got confused. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. We have 30,000 in debt, and we're in baby step 2. We have 70,000 in the bank from the sale of my house, and we're currently renting and driving about 50 miles opposite directions. And we have an opportunity to buy a piece of land that's kind of smack dab in the middle.
Sounds like you are. I thought you're driving 50 miles each direction.
Well, sorry. I'm actually driving 100 miles right now. We're looking for land that's in the middle so that we can both drive about equal distances. So this opportunity is about in the middle. So eventually each one of us will be driving about 50 miles one direction for our jobs.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do y'all do?
Well, we've both been in a place of employment for 20 and 25 years.
Yeah, but you started a whole new life together. So that's important, but I also don't care. What do y'all do?
I'm a design engineer. She manages a day salon.
Okay. I read some research recently that suggested that some of the rise in mental health challenges that are going on in the country is continually increasing commute stressors from distance, and all to say is that is a significant amount of strain you're putting on your young marriage. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what you're calling. I wouldn't do that if I were you, is all I'm saying. Just friend to friend.
I get it. I have looked for jobs out closer to her area, but I have 3 children, all above 16, and it is important for me to be able to see them, and because I'm going that direction for my job, it also helps me to maintain a relationship with them.
Is there not salons in that area that your wife might consider taking over?
Yeah, we're talking about that too. Without getting into too much detail, though, her she's well taken care of in the salon that she's in.
Okay, here's the thing. No, I would not buy the land.
Okay.
If it were perfectly situated and your situation was perfectly situated, which we've all agreed in the last few minutes it's not, even then I would not buy it. Okay, let's say you both live 2 miles from it, or you both worked 2 miles from it, and the kids were 3 miles from it. I still would not buy it because you're in debt. I would have you to get out of debt and build an emergency fund first, and once you're 100% debt-free, in other words, I would write a check today from the sale of your house and keep renting, and I'd be debt-free today. Now, then I'm going to start talking about how we can build a quality life together, and spending an hour and a half on the road every day. Oh, that's morning and evening. I'm sorry, 3 hours a day on the road every day is not conducive to anything good. It's just not. It's not a quality of life. And so I know where road rage comes from. It's when I'm in traffic more than 15 minutes. So, it's just, would you people get out of the way? Oh, wait, there's thousands of you. And so,
well, and one of the biggest challenges for new marriages, whether it's a second marriage, third marriage, or a first marriage, is the idea that I'm going to keep my old life and just drop this new thing I've just done into the middle of my old life. I'm going to keep going to the same gym. I'm going to keep hanging out with the same friends. I'm going to keep doing the same stuff. And I'm just going to also have this marriage. The ones that are successful realize everything is on the table because everything is new now. We just created a whole new life.
And there's going to be some things off the table.
And there's going to be some things that we have to give up. There's things that we're going to quit. We're going to change.
Because the marriage is priority.
Because it's priority now.
And when it's not priority, now your statistics get bad.
That's right.
Beth is in Denver. Hi, Beth. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys.
You too. What's
Merry
up?
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I am calling for y'all to settle the score. My husband and I are not necessarily having an argument, but we are having a debate about whether he should buy a new truck or not.
You are the most kind. We're not having an argument.
We're having a debate.
We're just having a debate. Well said. Well said.
That's nice. Merry Christmas.
And so
it's a fight, Beth. Just call it what it is.
It's not a fight. It's not a fight.
Okay.
I am okay
until he
either
loses.
Way,
yeah.
But well, I do think he's going to lose. But we have walked through the baby steps. We're on step 4, 5, and 6, and so he wants to buy a new truck. And I don't think.
What is your net worth?
Our income is
no
400. No. I don't know our net.
Your
worth.
income is 400. Okay, how much do you have in your mutual funds in retirement? Do you think?
About 100.
Okay, what's your home worth?
It's worth $550 around about, but we still have $180 left to pay on it.
Okay, do you own anything else of substance of large value?
No, we just own a couple cars.
Okay, so if we had 400 on your house plus 100, you have a $500,000 net worth, that roughly. Okay.
Roughly, yes.
And you make $400,000 a year, so you're just now getting to baby steps 4, 5, and 6. You haven't been there long.
Yes, we haven't been there very long.
And you don't, and you haven't made $400,000 very long.
No.
Okay. So it's a little bit early to buy a new truck. We recommend at Ramsey, and have for 30 years, not to buy a brand new vehicle unless you have at least a $1 million net worth. You're going to be there fairly soon, but you're not going to be there right now. So you win the argument.
Well, thanks. That's
assuming I actually hold the referee's whistle, which I'm not positive I do here, but assuming you do, I'll call him out of bounds. Now, I will say, here's the thing. A brand new vehicle goes down in value. It loses 70% of its value in the first 4 years. You cannot afford to take that big a hit until you have a substantial amount of money. And then you can afford to lose that much money and have a nice car. But when you buy a $50,000 car, it's going to be worth 70% of that. $15,000 in about an eye blink. When you buy a $100,000 car, it's going to be worth $30,000 so fast it will make you throw up a little in the back of your mouth. It's ridiculous. But you can afford that if you've got $2 million. I mean, you can lose $70,000 over 3 years if you got $2 million in order to drive a nice car and you make $400,000. You can afford it. That's okay. But no, I would not buy a new car in your situation.
Okay, so you think the only time is after you have that $1 million?
After you have a $1 million net worth.
Okay.
And then all of your vehicles, things with motors and wheels added together, should never add up to more than half your annual income. So unless he's buying a Ferrari, he's probably okay. You said a truck, so, well, you can get a $120,000 truck, but, yeah, we want to keep your vehicles under $200,000, all of them added together, after you have a net worth of $1 million. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thanks for being with us, America. Merry Christmas to you. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and the new promos they run all the time. You'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Clark in Chicago. Clark writes, things have been tight for us financially this year, and we haven't been able to buy the big gifts we were hoping to get for our kids. How can we navigate any possible meltdowns from the kids that might come from being disappointed by not getting what they had been hoping for? Oh, man. Dave,
does this question change by age?
Yes, and it also changes by how far upstream you want to get. So this is kind of like somebody asking, hey, we're down by 32 runs in the bottom of the ninth. How do we win this game? Well, you're probably not going to win this one because you're down by 32, and you waited till the ninth inning to.
And you suck at baseball.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you're right. So in our house, Sheila and I, my wife, decided we're not doing a bunch of crazy big gifts this year. We're going to do an experience, and so we started prepping the kids months out. Christmas is going to look and feel differently this year. We also reached out to, we have the only grandkids, so I got a real generous sister and brother and sister-in-law and my parents, and they love to shower stuff. And we said, hey, this year we're going smaller. So we started conversations on the front end, and we've started inviting our kids into more giving things so they can see with their own eyes and touch with their own hands people who go without during Christmas. And so we started a preparation for this moment a long time ago. If we had just waited until Christmas Day and they wake up and they're run down there and that's going to be tough. And they're kids. And if kids get their feelings hurt, it doesn't bother me because they're little kids. If they're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, on up, that's when you can start having different conversations. But man, it's Christmas morning. This is a little bit late in the game to be having this kind of conversation. It sounds more like the kids are going to do what kids are going to do. It feels like Clark feels like less of a father because he's not able to buy the things that make him feel good that he's able to give to his kids. And I think Clark and his wife need to look in the mirror and recognize they busted their butt this year. It was a tough year. It was a hard year. And they provided for those kids, and they did a really good job.
Yeah. In order to let yourself off the hook, you and your wife sit down and try to name the big gift that you got when you were a kid on any Christmas. You probably don't remember a single one. If you remember one, that might be good. If you remember two, that's unusually good. Doubt real seriously you remember 5 Christmas gifts from 5 different years. I remember one.
I think I could probably come up 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably the same Christmas.
I was having to dodge dinosaurs because it was a long time ago. But
we got a stone wheel.
That's it. I got a wheel. We got this new thing called fire.
We got fire.
Yeah. No, so I guess my point is that they'll live through it.
Yes, they will.
And the bigger deal you make about it, the bigger deal there's going to be.
Right.
But I do think that it's also the secret I use playing golf. The secret to happiness is low expectations.
Yes, exactly.
So let's lower their little expectations in some methodology, age appropriately. If it's a 16-year-old, that's a completely different discussion on lowering expectations than if it's a 4-year-old.
And with a 16-year-old, you say, hey, it's been a tough year, and I just want you to know, coming out of the gate, there's going to be fewer presents.
It's just going to be a little slim.
It can be tough.
Just get your little butt ready.
But with the younger ones, if you have younger ones, you can say, hey, Santa sent a letter and said, it's been tough times, so there's going to be fewer gifts this year, but I wanted to provide you more time to spend together. Set up a tent in your living room, and y'all have a camp out. Do something fun.
And he said he loves you extra special and whatever.
And they'll remember that forever.
All that's good. And so you can create experiences and, marshmallows still stuck in the carpet 4 months later. I don't know, whatever. But there's all kinds of stuff you can do here that's not doesn't come out of a box.
Right.
Because we've all had the experience, those of us with a few years on us, of the child that's 3 playing in the box more than playing with the item that came in the box. It's very distressing for the parent that bought that thing from Neiman Marcus. But that's so there is even as a grandfather, I will admit, Papa Dave suffers from, I am enjoying this more than they're going to.
Oh, dude, I do too, man. That's one of my favorite things in the world is to buy gifts.
I'm let down that my children have all told me I have to stop overdoing it. So it's just ruined Christmas for me. I'm just saying, but no. So I mean, that's the thing. So I think Brad, Clark. This is from Clark. Wait a minute. Christmas Vacation just emailed us right here on the Ramsey Show. Well, tell Cousin Eddie we said, hey, Clark. Wow. Yeah, and that you're not getting the bonus from your mean old boss. No pool.
No pool, man.
That's not coming. So, you think this is? Did you guys do this? No, you really didn't do it. Oh
I'm
my!
feeling the person who sent it in might have been
you
having
guys are
some fun.
pranking us in there. This is not. This is real.
It's a form, so whoever did it might have been being cute.
Oh,
yeah.
it just came.
Yeah. But I don't think Christmas Vacation had a location, did they? Was it Chicago? Some of you tweet in or email in, let us know, because I don't know. But trivia for Christmas. All right, so I did want to talk about this. So sidebar, turn a little bit of an angle off of this, because I've got Dr. John Deloney here. Own your past, change your future. 100% of adults that go and visit other adults called their relatives at Christmas bring some form of boundary issue, some form of heavy to light trauma, some form of negative or positive memory expanded in our brains to these singular day events around Christmas.
Yeah.
And speaking of setting expectations and being grown-ups during the holidays, talk about navigating family crap that is in your own brain and is in their brains and boundaries through these holidays. What are some basic ideas or rules?
The strange thing I experience is, and I wish there was a less woo-woo way of saying this, but I feel like my body becomes 14 again. I feel like I become a kid, and I instantly fall into, I'm a middle child, and I've got an older sibling and a younger sibling. I feel like I just get in this weird, and then I have to remind myself, wait a minute, I got grown kids and a house, and a wife. I'm not 14 anymore. And so, I have to be cognizant of myself. What we did this year, what Sheila and I have done the last few years, is we send an email out to the family. And here's when we're going to be able to come. Here's what we want to do. Here's some things that we think will be fun. Anything y'all are interested in doing. And what we like to do is have those conversations the best we can. And our family works best in writing before we get there.
Yeah, but I mean, when I get there, the years that I did not pre-think about perception, and I'm not 14. I'm not the broke kid that came home with your daughter and you didn't want her to marry, and I didn't blame them later. But I would not have wanted my daughter to marry the guy that came home with her when it was me. Right. So I get that. They weren't mean about it, and they're still not mean about it. But I'm not that guy. I have to reset my mind intentionally before I pull in the driveway.
That's right.
There's some pre-planning relationally, psychologically you kind of have to do. Otherwise, you do fall right into that hole, don't you?
You do. And I start getting sharp with people. I start eating too much on the junk food table to make myself feel a little bit better. People will grab more drinks. So I think it's about knowing all I can control in the situation is me. And if you want to poke some fun at me and have some fun, I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to push back. I'm going to smile. Or I'm going to take myself out of this situation. And that's really the two options I got.
And I'm not discussing Trump.
No.
And I'm not discussing COVID.
You are not going to change anybody's heart and mind.
It's Jesus' birthday. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Elijah is with us in Pittsburgh. Hey, Elijah, welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hey, Dave. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I'll dive right into it. My parents are up visiting for Christmas, and money conversations have come up a couple of times. Nothing super specific, but I know that they have about $21,000 in car debt, and they're not on a budget at all. My wife and I are in baby step 3, but one of the things that's most been weighing on me is feeling like my parents don't really have a retirement plan in place. My mom is 60, my dad's 58. She says she wants to do something, but she feels like it's too late for them to start, and even if they did, my dad is historically set in his ways. I know I can't change them. They have to do that themselves. How do I bridge the help? That's the way out that they can take control.
Okay. Well, I think you're accurate. It's one of the most frustrating things is dealing with people that we love dearly and trying to get them to do things that are good for them. And when you care more than they care, you know. So it is the old lead a horse to water thing, right? You can't make them drink. So all we can do is lovingly lead them to water and then release and step back. So whatever weight you are feeling right now, that whatever sense of responsibility you feel right now, whatever sense of worry or you feel on their behalf, I want you to promise that after you take 2 or 3 steps, you just lay that down. You got to step back and just go, I've done what I can do, and now it's up to them. Now, if they pick up and start running down the road a little bit and then they need a little more encouragement, you can be their biggest coach. But you can't, you know, part of this deal is you offloading the weight. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay, because you worrying about them isn't going to work because they're not worried about them.
Now, there might be a mathematical reality to, okay, in 20 years, they're going to have nothing, or in 30 years, they're going to have nothing. And so we might put a little money away in savings or something once you guys get your financial picture cleaned up. But right now, y'all are still...
Well, it just gives you a reason to be wealthy.
Scratching
You're
a
going to want to help people, and they may be one of them, but when you're wealthy someday.
Have you sat down and had this conversation? You've had it with your mom. Have you sat down and asked your dad, just mano a mano, hey, man, do you have a will? Do you have a plan? What's your retirement plan look like?
I've not. Conversations with him have kind of just been surfacey, and
Have they always been that way, or is it just about this one topic?
Figured out. Yeah, it's kind of always been that way.
I want to challenge you over the holidays, if it's not going to create drama, if you said, hey, I'd love to take you out, Dad, and have a conversation. I've got the benefit, my dad's a homicide detective, and so talking about death and us not being here, we've had that conversation forever, probably too much. So that it was still an awkward conversation for me to broach. Like, hey, let's talk about Will, let's talk about this. And he was awesome. He had it all planned out, as most police officers do. But I do think it's worth sitting down and saying, at least broaching the subject. And it might not be this Christmas, but it may be a tiny little seed planted that your dad needs to start having these conversations. Or it may just completely shut the door. And like Dave said, it makes it much easier to set those bricks down and quit carrying them when the door is shut and sealed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so in other words, you sit down over a cup of coffee or a beer and you go, Dad, I'm worried about you and Mom. Tell me what you got planned. I'm working on my money stuff, and I'm just now starting to get it figured out. And I remember how scared I was, and I think Mom's kind of scared. So tell me what you got planned, and is there any way I can help you? Because I'm starting to learn about this stuff. And if he says, mind your own dadgum business, go jump in the creek, then do just that. Yeah. That's your only option. He told you exactly where you stand. And he might. I don't know who this guy is. Or he might go, yeah, I don't really have anybody to talk to about it. I'm so scared I can't breathe. And for the first time in your life, or the first time in recent decades, you might have a really deep conversation with him emotionally.
That's right. And Dave said it best, lead with your vulnerability, not what he's doing wrong.
No, never. You do not need to wag a finger, particularly at this guy.
Yeah.
This guy, he's old school.
I'm just now figuring out how expensive it is to be an adult in this world. And it got me thinking about, man, you guys are...
Well, my wife and I are working this Ramsey plan, and I'm so first time ever, I'm starting to see how this stuff works, and I'm simultaneously not as scared as I was, and I'm excited about the future. And it kind of got me looking over there, and I was remembering looking at Mom's eyes the other day, how scared I was, and I kind of think she might be, and I don't know, maybe even you. But is there some? Tell me you're okay. Tell me you got $1 million, or tell me to go my own business and pound sand. But I just want to ask you about this because I love you, and it's just a subject I've gotten excited about.
Yeah, and just understand that, especially with certain generations, the shame around how much you have or don't have is so powerful and so great. You may get a response that has nothing to do with you and that has everything to do with him.
It's every generation,
and it is. But at least you will be able to sleep at night knowing, hey, I had this conversation, I broached a subject, I'm setting the sucker down.
Yeah, and then just, it's if I can show you what I've learned, and so here's the thing a guy taught me about, he said, if you tell your story, no one can debate you about your story.
That's right.
But when you start trying to tell them their story, everybody wants to debate about their own story. They go, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what's happening here. But so I'm not going to, don't wag your finger. And there's probably some pretty obvious things they're doing that are stupid butt stuff. But don't even go there. Don't bring, what about the car loan? No, don't even bring it up. Just let him go, yeah, I got this car debt. And if you can get him to pull them into it rather than push them into the conversation, then maybe you get there. And then you go, hey, man, I went through this thing, and here's a website to look at, or here's a YouTube clip. These people yelling that they're out of debt, and here's a guy that was 17 years or in 2017 had nothing, and he went through this plan. Now he's a millionaire, and there's all those clips on YouTube you can watch. And we've had like 1 billion downloads now or something. So. That kind of thing. And you're just sharing information that you have experienced, and just stay over there. And and my pastor used to say, a man with an experience is not at the mercy of a man with an opinion. Yeah, well, I don't believe in all that get out of debt stuff. Well, that's okay, I understand. But I'm really enjoying being out of debt.
And I remember, this is years ago now, but I had a friend who's had a parent who I think had a stroke or passed away, and no, we didn't pass away, but almost. And I remember asking my parents, hey, do y'all have like a plan? What if one of y'all has a heart attack or has a stroke? And nothing came of that conversation. But the next year for Christmas, they bought themselves long-term care insurance as our Christmas present. And I thought that was fantastic. And we all cheered, and it was great. But it took them a while. They talked about it. They went and met with their financial advisor or whatever. But it was a seed that was planted. Like, oh yeah, we haven't thought about what happens if one of us.
They never answered the question, but then they went and answered the question.
They went and answered the question. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting to lead people, lead your children, your grown kids, which is always an oxymoron, right? But I mean, you're 30-year-old, you're 25-year-old. How do you communicate with them? Because you can't use your dad voice. It doesn't work because they don't have to listen anymore. They make their own money and stuff. And so you have to use your friend voice. And it's like, it's like, I'm your friend. And I want to persuade you because you're being an idiot. And, but you can't say any of that. But it'll be going through your head. It's like, maybe, I don't know. When I used to do that, I felt this way. And, it's just like
I've tried that and it didn't work out well. I had a counseling professor say, whenever somebody's making a dumb choice, instead of telling them, you should be doing this, you can tell them, yeah, you could try that. And, I'll buy the first round when this thing implodes. I'll be here when this goes sideways. And it's a great way to communicate. I wouldn't do that. Without saying I wouldn't do that. Hey, and parents over the holidays, if your kids get the courage to ask and have a hard conversation about wills, be gentle with them. Be graceful. They're trying. They're practicing. All these things we're teaching. Be graceful with them.
Yeah. Don't be a butt.
It's
Jesus' birthday. Don't be a butt. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create real, amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Own Your Past, Change Your Future, is my co-host today. Elizabeth is with us. Elizabeth is in Pensacola, Florida. Merry Christmas, Elizabeth.
Merry Christmas, Dave. Thank you. And John, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How can we help?
Okay, thank you. I've been in a relationship for coming up on 1 year with a man who's loving and devoted father to his 2 girls. And I also have a daughter. And we started off so wide open and hopeful. And we were discussing the possibility and dream of marriage and blending our families and how that could work. But little by little, issues regarding lots of things, including boundaries with the kids, have seemed to put a huge damper on our relationship. And due to his behavior and moods, my daughter's pretty much lost all respect for him and despises him now. And at this point, our relationship is unrecognizable from a year ago, since I've retreated to where I felt I wouldn't step on any toes out of deference and respect. But I'm also struggling with a feeling I should walk away, but also not wanting to abandon what we've tried to build.
How old is your daughter?
She's 13 and a half.
They're perfectly capable of causing entire countries to cave in.
They also 13-year-olds. I was just talking about this on my show earlier today. Their sonar for not safe is often much more in tune than ours are as adults, because, like you just mentioned, you've got a fantasy. You've come from heartbreak. You want the idea of a family, and you meet this guy, and right out of the gate, it's going to be awesome. And all of a sudden, the picture y'all paint together looks incredible. And then reality starts to open up over the last year, and you have enough strength and fortitude and grit and determination. I'm going to marry this guy. I don't care if he's the worst guy. I want that picture. And your 13-year-old saying, I'm not going to be around him, because she's still in touch with, she hasn't lost that sense of herself yet. Here's my hard question for you. It sounds like you've already broken up with him. You haven't broken up the fantasy.
Yeah, because I just like, and John, on your recommendation, I bought that book, Facing Love Addiction, by Tia and Melody, and I'm trying to look at myself and say, is this just, but I love him and care about him so much, and it's just hard to let go because
both of those things can be true at the same time. You can love somebody deeply and they're not the right person to connect to hitch your wagon to for the rest of your life. You can break up with somebody and be devastated and it still be the right thing to do. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. And I'm not telling you to dump him. I would never tell somebody to do that unless there's abuse or something. So I'm not telling you got to leave him. What I'm just holding up a mirror to what you just told me and Dave is you're done with this relationship. You're not done with the idea of what could have been.
Which bucket, your 13-year-old doesn't want anything to do with him. She's lost all respect for him. Is it because he called her out on her stuff and no one has lately and she's a little 13-year-old butt? Or is it because she's seeing stuff that is right?
It's a little both, but she's got an incredible sense about people, and I've always, tried to tell her, hey,
why does she not respect him? What exactly?
He gets kind of moody, and she thinks that he's not acting like mature, and I agree. There's times where he gets like triggered by things, and he'll kind of act moody or hurt or something, and it's like I think she's looking just like I am for that leader, and I've got the compassion to try to like, oh, I'll work with him, and she's just like, nah, she's
when you say moody, is it that Sunday afternoon dad, just that there's a bear over there on the couch watching football, you better not talk to him or touch him? Or is he ugly? Does he say ugly things? Does he just ignore people? What do you mean? Be specific about the behaviors.
So like, for instance, sometimes, even specifically towards her, like he kind of didn't give her the benefit of the doubt for something, let's say. And, and he kind of acted like she wasn't, acting right when she was just being a normal kid, or also, just the way that she's seen him interact with, because he's got a daughter too that's her age. And so, I'm sure they chat, and so just seeing how sometimes he reacts to her and then the daughter's reaction to that, I didn't even go into some things that she's seen that I also wasn't okay with over at his place, where just there's some family dynamics there that I'm not like. Let
me put it this way. Both you and him have been around the block, meaning y'all have been through heartbreak. Y'all have had other marriages before. You've had other relationships. Is there an opportunity for y'all to sit down with adult, like in a very adult conversation, almost like an accounting review, an audit, and just say, hey, this last year's been tough. Let's agree that we're gonna start acting different. We want this thing to work, and we're gonna both begin to or continue to invest in this thing, or we're gonna be heartbroken and it's gonna be hard, but let's choose to move on. Could you do that? Could you have that conversation and say some of your needs out loud?
Yeah, and I've been trying to, and it seems like he kind of like doesn't. I don't know if he's really very available to give me what I need, which. Also, and I even used some words I heard on your show, like I'm worth, being loved for who I am, or like I'm worth this. I have a lot to offer, and like I'm, and he's kind of like, I don't know. He just, I don't think he actually appreciates my worth, and I'm trying to, I don't know. I think maybe that's also part of it too.
You're done.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're telling us.
You just outlined somebody that's done.
And Dave, I want someone to treat me like how you treat Sharon. I want someone to treat me like how you treat Sheila. I want that, and I just
your daughter doesn't, because I would be dismissive of her if your household is kid-centric and your kid thinks she's the all to be all and she's 13. I would be dismissive of her, so you really wouldn't want me.
I mean, but just like to feel like I'm on that pedestal, and I'm not like some diva.
No, not you, her.
Oh yeah. No,
you get to be on the pedestal. That's your job. The 13-year-old doesn't.
Right, and that's what I feel like. And I literally put my hand down on the ground. I was like, I feel like I'm down here, and like, let's say his, mom and his sister, and your mom and your sister are there.
Mama's in this. Mama's in this. Whoa!
Hey, you should have left with
should have led with Mama.
Led with Mama, yeah. Hey, here's what I think
got
is
run
is
over
going
by
on
a
here.
reindeer.
Your body's gearing up for another breakup, and it remembers the last one, and it was painful and awful. So get some people in your life because you're about to enter into a hard season.
Yeah,
and
get some hot tea and 2 good friends.
We'll walk alongside you.
This one's done.
Be tough.
It's done. Stick a fork in it. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I got good news for all you guys and gals out there who are planners and are looking ahead to make big changes in 2023. The $10 sale is on. Yeah, it's our biggest $10 sale yet. You'll find plenty to inspire and motivate you for the coming year. Some of the newcomers to the $10 sale are my #1 bestseller, Recent, Baby Steps Millionaires, Ken Coleman's #1 bestseller, From Paycheck to Purpose, the Conversation Cards, Questions for Humans by Dr. John Deloney, the Total Money Makeover, lots and lots and lots and lots, most of our books, #1s, most of them $10. So check it out, all at RamseySolutions.com. Do not miss this. This is the time to get the best deals, and for most of you, I think we can still get them to you by Christmas. I don't know how this stuff's working. All right, John, so before I get all the hate mail, you and I have talked about this several times, and let's get some clarity on it. How do you balance on that last caller, as a single mom in that situation, being too kid-centric and putting a 13-year-old on a pedestal and giving them too much credit for wisdom that they really don't have, and therefore empowering them to be little brats in a sense? Where like they're in charge of your adult relationship or something. They can't carry that. Right. How do we balance that with, you said they've got a great radar because it's unfiltered and they do have a sense about things, which they do. So I'm not completely disrespecting or discounting the kid's opinion, but you've said a lot of times, and I agree with you, that we are we are way too kid-centric in this culture where everything revolves around a little child.
What tipped this conversation for me was Mom knew. Mom knows this thing was done.
So the 13-year-old was just the truth teller.
That's right. The 13-year-old was unfortunately, the oracle in that house and had said some things out loud that Mom had been feeling and thinking all along. And so it was Mom saying this thing has degraded over the last year. It's not what we thought. He's not who I thought he was. He's immature. And then we could have pushed a little bit more. She would have told us some stuff that would have made our hair curl up.
Well, we finally got to Mama, but yeah.
So in this situation, daughter was the only one with the courage to tell the truth.
Yeah. So,
because usually the reverse happens when somebody is met somebody new. It's going great. They respect him.
Yeah. What I don't want people to hear you say is, because you didn't say it, is a belligerent, arrogant teenager is not the oracle.
No,
in your house. They're just being a teenager that's hormone induced, and they don't have the position of power to decide what I get to do. I'm the dad.
Right.
And on the other hand, they also, but that's assuming then that I'm also big enough as the dad or the mom to listen to what they have to say and that they do actually have feelings.
Absolutely. And I want to teach I'm not going to put the weight of all the responsibilities in the house on a teenager because they can't carry that weight. It's not fair. It's cruel to do that to a kid. To ask them all the time, where do you want to eat and what do you want to do and where do you want to... A kid can't handle that. And also, I want to begin to teach them, let them practice autonomy. So, hey, we're going to go eat one of these two places. Which one you want to pick? They get to pick from those two choices that I put out there, right? So we're going to slowly teach them that. But in this situation, that kid was just telling the truth.
Well, Mimi let him do that last night. The 7-year-old picked between ravioli and tacos.
There you go. So, and that 7-year-old is going to flex all week, being like, I told Mimi what we were having for dinner. They didn't.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right. That I mean, because there's a thing happening here that's we're not like some kind of old school dinosaurs where we're saying that the child does not have a voice, and you're not trying to teach them that. Because my friend Andy Andrews said we're not trying to raise kids to be great kids. We're trying to raise them to be great adults.
Adults, that's right.
Which is approach an adult conversation with someone else's relationship with humility.
Right.
That's how you do it as an adult. And it's how you do it by God when you're 13.
That's right.
You know. So
and there's the mistake I made early on with one of my kids was they would say something and I would say, no, you don't. When it came to I'm scared or this hurt, and I would say, no, it doesn't. No, it didn't. Well, that's not. I'm teaching you not to trust yourself. That's dumb. What I should say in those situations is, I'm sorry that it hurts. We still have to go. Or I'm sorry that you're scared. I'm going to put a light on, but you still have to sleep in this bed, right? So it's both and. It's not a dismissal of you, and it's also not, we still have responsibilities. And I'm teaching you, I don't want to get up and go to work today, but I got to, right?
Yeah. Sometimes there's grown-up stuff to be done.
That's right.
All right. Bonita is with us in Lansing, Michigan. Hi, Bonita. How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I've been listening to you for a few months now, and I've been trying to pay off this little bit of debt I have, and as well, I got my boyfriend listening to you and paying. We paid his debt off and everything, and things have been going good. But then I'm taking a gap year from school this year. I'm in college, and yesterday I found out that I didn't unenroll from the classes in time like I thought I did, and now I'm on the hook for about $10,000 that I need to pay, that I wasn't expecting to pay, and I feel like it just kind of put a wrench in my plans. That's a lot of money for me, and I don't know. I don't really know. Like,
I would go down and meet with the registrar's office and let them know exactly what you did, and you say, I had a lot going on and I screwed up and I didn't withdraw from these classes. I never attended these classes. I haven't been a student here. Can you help me out? I don't have $10,000 to write you a check right now. And I will tell you, I've worked at universities that would say, absolutely, we'll take care of you. And I've worked at universities that would say, sorry, we have to go by the policy. I'll also tell you that the reason I'm in this seat right now is because I was taking a master's level counseling class as an administrator, and I registered for that class like in April. It was a summer class. I completely forgot about it. And I went to register for the fall classes. I was just taking a class here and there, and I had an F on my transcript. So I emailed the professor and said, hey, I never went to the class. I got an F. Can you fix that?
You didn't.
And she goes, no, you didn't show up to my class. You got an F. And then I went up across campus and I said, hey, I can't have an F on my transcript. And she said, I will take care of this, but you have to go to my child play therapy class. At that time, I would have rather set myself on fire than go to a child play therapy class. And I went, and then we ended up, she said, what are you doing? Getting a master's degree? You need to get another degree. And she ended up being the reason I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. So I tell you that to tell you this. If you made a mistake, own the mistake. Somebody might help you out, and it may be the best thing that ever happened to you. And it may be that you just got to pay $10,000 and move on.
I sure hope you don't. But in person, not by email.
In person, not text message.
Not with a TikTok DM or whatever the crap, TikTok or whatever. You don't just go in there in person, sit down like a human, and don't blame them. Blame yourself.
Take all the ownership.
Yeah. Humble. What we used to call hat in hand. I messed up. Please give me mercy. I'm begging for mercy. I am here to fall before your desk and ask for mercy.
That's right.
And I goofed up by 3 days or 5 days or whatever. I thought I did it properly. I was stressed out. I'm taking a gap year because I'm broke, and I'm certainly too broke to pay $10,000, and so please help me.
One other loophole might be, can you at least give me incompletes on these grades so I can take them again when I get done with my gap year? And that may be a way not to get your money back, but to preserve, so you don't have to pay for those classes twice. That might be something you can do also. But hopefully it'll give you your money back.
You can probably get that. Hopefully they'll just say, yeah, we deal with college-age people, and sometimes they mess up. Because all people mess up. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. Ciondoloni, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Will and Kendall are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Better than we deserve. Where do you live?
Live in Memphis, Tennessee.
Very fun. Welcome to Nashville. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to y'all.
How much debt have you paid off?
$28,000.
All right. How long did that take?
About 5 months.
Good. And your range of income during that time?
Went from about $40,000 to $72,000.
Very cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So I'm in nursing school, so I graduate in May.
All right.
Yep, and then I work at a content creation agency in Memphis, and we just specialize in commercial photo and video. And then on the side, I'm a Ramsey certified financial coach.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Well done. Cool. What kind of debt was this $28,000?
So it was a car loan and then student loans that she took out earlier. And so we knocked those off, and now we're just cash flowing the rest of her school.
I love it. Good. Nursing's a great degree. Well done.
Yeah, you got 5 months more of being the breadwinner, dude, and then she's going to take the keys.
That's fine with me. That works for me.
Exactly. It's all good.
How long y'all been married?
6 months.
Yeah, we got married in June.
Oh, gross. Yep. How's it going?
It's going good.
It's great.
Yeah.
6 whole months. How old are you guys?
I'm 22.
And I'm 21.
All right. Way to go, you guys. And you're a 21-year-old Ramsey financial coach.
Yes, sir.
My goodness. That's impressive. Okay, so you get married, and Kendall, you signed up for this. You sign up with a Ramsey financial coach. Got to help you.
Exactly.
So you get married. What's the first thing you got to do? We got to get rid of these debts.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing that the car loan wasn't even yours.
It actually was.
It was yours.
It was.
Oh, good. We can spread the guilt around there.
Yep, we can.
I like it. Good. That's good. Awesome. Okay, so tell me the story, how you guys started talking about this, and then what you did to get out of debt.
Yeah, so we actually took foundations in high school, but at the same time, it really never clicked for either one of us. She took it as a sophomore. I took it as a senior. And it wasn't until COVID, I just was working and started binging the podcast and the YouTube. And I obviously heard of you from high school. And honestly, I just started binging it. And I really started to understand what the mission and y'all's values here at Ramsey, like what it actually means. And so that really, for both of us, we were like, we don't want to live like we see in the world from people that are close to us. We didn't want to live and be normal like that. So we decided, obviously, when we were getting married that we weren't going to do that. And so from then, obviously, when we got married, we started doing it. I started coordinating FPU So in January, I'll have my 4th class.
My goodness.
And so we're just fired up, honestly. We're just excited.
So how much grief do the old people in a class give a 21-year-old coordinator?
Yeah, it's always funny. I'll walk in and I'll be greeting people, just kind of casually walking around, introducing myself, and then they have no idea who I am until I get up at the front and start saying, greeting everyone, and it's always funny to see everybody's face when they see that I'm actually teaching the class.
But now you can show the video to start the class of this interaction. That'd be great.
Yeah. And so that was one thing that we really wanted, is that we're not just someone that's putting the video up and playing it. Like, we're doing it with y'all. And that's what I tell everybody that we come into contact with. Like, we are on this same journey with you. We're doing it as well.
All right, so Kendall, you had a picture for years of your first year or two of marriage.
Yes.
It probably included fewer beans and rice than you've eaten in the last 6 months.
That's very true. We were talking about this on the way here. Like, I mean, when you get married, like, we just moved into an apartment, like, we want to furnish it, get it all cute, but we had to be okay with, we got a free couch from the church. Like, we just, furnished it how we could, because we were paying off debt. We didn't have the money to go, buy a couch and a table and all of that. So
when you get a free couch from a church, that means they got the free couch from someone else. This is third generation.
Literally, while you were talking,
sure.
I thought there's so many butts that have been on that couch.
Exactly. And it's not a very pretty color either.
No. But okay, but this is good because we had a call in the earlier segment. Is your marriage somehow less than?
No, not at all.
If anything, it's better. It's brought us closer together. I mean, we're on the same page financially. And so when y'all always say, when you get on the same page, like, things start to it's just building up and you're going in the right direction. And I feel like we're closer because we've done this together. It wasn't just me that wanted this. She wanted it as well, which was really cool. And I was thankful for that. We have the same values when it comes to money and marriage, and so it's been really cool.
How does it feel to be free?
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
And you've been able to cash flow the rest of nursing school?
Yes.
Yeah, well done, y'all.
Yeah.
You guys got such an incredible start. You're going to be able to be unbelievably generous and unbelievably wealthy both. Very, very cool. Very cool. Okay, now you're leading the class. You're debt-free. You paid off $28,000 in the first 5 months of marriage. And someone says, okay, hot shot. What is it you do to get out of debt? What are the things you got to do if you're going to get out of debt? What are the keys?
Honestly, obviously the budget, but we talk about this a lot. Just being content, like, with what you have. Like, all of our friends, our friends that also get married, may have a new couch and a new this and that, but us just being content, knowing, like, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do. And it was 5 months. Like, I know people have longer journeys than that. And so we knew for 5 months we can do this. And then, now we did get a new couch. So our apartment's come together. So it's a lot better.
Only our butts have been on that couch.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would agree with that. Y'all always say, get on a plan and stick with it. And that's what I always tell people. During FPU, if you will submit to this plan and give it 110%, it will work for you. It's not just for low income or high income families. It's for anybody that's willing to submit to the plan. And that's with a lot of things in life. It's not just money. If you are willing to put the work in, submit to the plan, like, your life can change for the better.
All right. Closed circuit to all you people in Memphis. If you want to go to the best possible financial peace class, I think I just found the coordinator. Wow. That was incredible. Very well done. If you want to coach in Memphis, I think we just found him. Excellent job, dude. Very, very, very well done. Powerful stuff, you two.
And if you want a nurse to jab you with needles, I want a nurse who wants to be there, not who has to be there.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Very cool. I do.
Wow. Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you. It includes the Baby Steps Millionaires book. It includes the Total Money Makeover book and a 1-year membership. probably some gifts you'll give away, and maybe you can enjoy at least the Baby Steps Millionaires book. You're going to be those before you know it, no doubt. You guys are incredible, powerful young couple. Wow, excellent job. Well done, well done. All right, it's Will and Kendall, Memphis, Tennessee. $28,000 paid off in the first 5 months of marriage, making 40 to 72. When she graduates from college and becomes a nurse, watch out. Watch out. Here it goes. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Woo-hoo! Oh, if I had 1 ounce of that much sense when I was 21, just 1 ounce.
When I was 21, I saw the deep hole I'd already dug myself, and I was like, let me borrow a shovel. I can make that deeper.
Let's go see how deep we can go.
I kept digging until I was about 36 years old.
Way to go, you guys. You're impressive.
Awesome.
Hey, that's the power of that high school curriculum right there. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. C.S. Lewis said, "Joy is the serious business of heaven." Love it. Nick is with us. Nick is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you two?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Perfect. I'll try to make this brief. I'm trying to figure out if I should leave my toxic work environment.
Yes.
And go to my old. Okay.
Tell us about your toxic
tell us your
work
story, but the
environment.
answer's
What's
yes.
toxic about it?
So, a little backstory. I had to come here to get benefits because my previous place didn't have any benefits, and so my family had a major crisis in our lives where my wife tried to take her life. Sorry.
That's okay, man.
So you had to take this job for the insurance so she could get the care that she needed?
Correct, yeah, because she had to go, when she was in the care, she was recommended to go to a psychiatrist, a therapist, for a minimum of 2 times a week. And we got it down to 1 time a week, but paying out of pocket was just going to be where we would have been homeless. And we have a 1-year-old, or he's about to be 1, and we just didn't see a solution for it. How long
ago was that?
In 2020, last year, it was around November, so a little over a year ago.
Hey, can I just stop you right here and applaud you for being a husband who loves his wife enough to do whatever it takes?
Thank you.
You're an impressive, brave man, and I'm proud to get to share a conversation with you, man. You quit a job that you liked in order to take a job that you had to take so that you could care for your family, and that's what people do in hard times, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So it sounds like this new job provides medical benefits, but also is pretty awful too.
Yeah, so I took it because it was a higher paying job, and when we got the medical bill, it was very high, where we're obviously in debt right now, and so that was the main reason for the benefits, to pay for her therapy, as well as be able to pay for the medical bill just to get out of it. And
what do you make?
It's about a year's worth of salary. At this new place, I make about 78.
Doing what?
At the old place, Engineering.
You're an engineer?
Yes.
Okay. And how old are you?
I am about to be 28.
So you've been licensed 3 years, 4 years?
No. So I just started working about 2.5 years ago. So we didn't know about you guys until a few
No,
months
I'm
ago.
asking how long you've been an engineer.
Oh, yeah, for about 2.5 years only.
Okay. All right. And what's the problem at the new place? Define what toxic means in this case.
So anytime I get yelled at on a weekly basis, and there's been times where I've been yelled at in front of my colleagues and have been threatened that if I don't get it right, then I'm going to be out of here the next day.
Okay, let me stop you a second. Okay, are you being confronted about performance, or are you being yelled at with actual volume?
Yelled at with actual volume.
Okay.
Or yeah, I'm going to ask this directly and kind of it's hard. Is this you being like, it's hurting my feelings, or is this, no, dude, this dude's like getting all up in my face? Like if we were outside, there'd be a problem, kind of yelling at you.
Yeah, if we were outside, there'd be a problem. That's where I'm not sure what to do, because I can handle it and I can take it, but it's to the point where it's just becoming.
I would think there'd be a lot of engineering jobs in Salt Lake City that included medical benefits. Have you looked yet?
Yeah, I've looked at a couple of different areas and tried to apply to a few different places, and a lot of them are hiring, and I've had a couple of interviews with them. However, we're in a small town where if I were to go there, it's about a 45-minute commute to an hour commute for me to get to the other places that I'm interested in.
I can do that more than I can be yelled at, because my yelling button is fairly low.
Mine too.
One time.
I also can consider moving communities if I have to move a little bit closer to where I work.
Yeah.
Are y'all locked into this community that you're a part of right now?
Yeah, so we have a house. We bought it a couple of years ago, and so we do have a house. And the reason we're living where we are right now is because we have parents that are close by that can watch a little boy. Especially right now, since she's working part-time, so we can try to pay off this debt and going to therapy. We're just both trying to pay it off as fast as we can.
Sure. I don't want you to lose your relationship or your sanity in the process. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta have to do something else. We just got to find out what. And it may be pick your poison. I'm picking I'll make a commute before I get yelled at. I'm going to keep looking and looking and looking and find something very soon, because it's not going to be long before I tell this guy to take this job and shove it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 30 seconds. So because I'm a redneck, it's hard for me to put up with that stuff. I get all hillbilly on you. That ain't going to work. I don't do yelling,
Man, I just thinking about you experiencing that.
Can you imagine? We actually had a team member a while back, a few years ago, yell at one of our leaders here, and he fired him on the spot. And it's like, he goes, "Why are you firing me?" It's like, because we are civilized human beings in here. You're done, you belligerent little twerp. And so, oh my God.
Yeah, man, your instinct and your guts are right. I'm with Dave. I would rather come home with integrity 30 minutes later every day. And what I mean by integrity, not browbeaten down and not exhausted and not hating my life.
But I do think that, don't put too many constraints on this. There's no way to do this except in this other bad way.
Right.
There's, sometimes if the only options I've got are two bad ones, that means I don't have enough options.
Right.
And so I want you to go keep looking and poking and looking and poking and looking and poking and find you something, or open up your own engineering thing on the side and drive Uber at night. I don't know, but let's do something different very, very quickly. Like the end of January, you have a new job, Nick. That's what I'm prescribing. I'm telling you to go do that.
Okay, perfect.
Does that make sense? And I don't care. It might be that you buy your own health insurance and you get paid $100 at the other place instead of $70.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I'd do that one too. I don't, benefits are good, but they're not worth $60,000 a year. So, if you can make more money someplace else and you don't have a commute and you got to buy your own health insurance, have at it.
That's right. But your dignity doesn't have a price tag, brother.
Yeah, and just it's dignity. It's also just, humanity.
Just
I mean,
humanity.
it's just, we're just not going to act like these. Who yells in the, and I mean, it's not like this is a ditch digging firm or something. I mean, this is an engineers. Who thinks they can get, I mean,
Here's who thinks they can get away with it.
High paid white collar job.
Somebody who's gotten away with it.
Yeah. Nobody ever
who hires brand new, newly certified engineers and
overpays them so he can abuse them.
Or possibly underpays them and runs them into the ground and gets what he wants. And they leave, and then he has his bad attitude and starts it over again.
Where are you going? Don't have any payments.
Not here. That's right. That's right. Somewhere else?
Not here, not today, Bubba. You are a confused individual.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But hey, kudos, man, for doing the hard thing and quitting a job.
You're a stud, Nick.
Loving your wife and loving that little 1-year-old.
Throw your shoulders back, step into the next thing, because you're good at stepping into the next thing. You've done a good job with it. And, yeah, that place is not deserving of someone with as much character as you have, sir.
Exactly right.
That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks to Austin, Ben, James, Zach, and Andrew in the booth. They're known as the Booth Dudes. They make this happen. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.